Hey everybody, Chad Grimsey alongside Robert Lintott as always. Welcome to the Holtcast. Unlike Joe Cole, we can't get out of Villa so easily, Robert.
I was not expecting that. That was perfect. And thank you for listening to the Holtcast this week. That's all we've got, because we ain't getting better than that. Bravo. Yeah. Hi, welcome back.
Yeah, so just where we left you last, we were coming into a Chelsea game where it looked like Jose Mourinho's job maybe was going to be on the line yesterday when they drew in the Champions League, but he did help it last Saturday, of course, when Chelsea kind of just coasted to a 2-0 win against Villa. Thanks a lot to Brad Guzan.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm willing to put 90% of the blame on that thing on Brad Guzan, actually.
Yeah, and the main point that comes up is when you're a defender and you're facing your goalkeeper and you're played the ball, you just assume that there's no pressure, because why would the goalie play you the ball if there's a charging Willian at you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is, to be certain, a fair bit of fault there on Julian Lescott, because I don't care how hard the pass was or whatnot. You're a Premier League footballer. You should be able to trap a pass at your feet.
Right? Yeah, at the worst, draw a foul or something.
Yeah, exactly. So there is some blame there, but this is the second time this season that we've seen Brad Guzan concede a goal simply because he decided to pass to someone who was about to be mauled by an oncoming attacker.
Yeah, and every time he has the ball and it's not a goal kick or a free kick in the area, it just reminds me of what happened against Man City last year when he just kind of squibbed it a couple feet.
It's absolutely unacceptable that he is so bad with the ball at his feet. He is still an accomplished shot stopper. He makes decent decisions coming out of the box. I don't think he's great at that, but he makes decent decisions as to when to charge at the ball. But you're a Premier League goalkeeper. You should be able to kick the damn ball.
Yeah, he's a great shot stopper. He has good command of the area, but for someone who played his youth career as a striker, it's surprising that he has that control of the ball. And like what happened against Man City last year, once that first goal was given up, it really damaged the team's morale.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not going to say that Villa were outplaying Chelsea, but it was about 50-50, and really Villa could have edged it. It was close. It really could have gone either way.
It looked like the sort of match that Villa could maybe pull a draw out of, a shocking and unexpected draw. And you're right, it just totally blew the morale out of the water. It was all of that hard work just totally screwed up by Guzan's stupidity. And for once, Sherwood actually had a pretty decent tactical setup.
Yeah, I think it was all right. Well, I mean, he played Carlos Gil and Jack Grealish, which seems like a no-brainer, but it hadn't been it always. And maybe it was due to them not being fully fit, so I could understand it if that was the case.
Yeah. There was a lot of complaining about the fact that Amavi sat in favor of Richardson, and I think Richardson's performance throughout the game justified that for the most part. He was not dynamic going forward like Amavi was supposed to be, but he also wasn't mistake-prone like Amavi has been lately.
Yeah, exactly. And we were talking about it a little bit after the match, you and I was thinking if you were going to play Richardson at left back, you could play Amavi maybe ahead of him as a left mid if you want someone who's going to be going forward, but still defensively adapt if it's a big match like Chelsea. If you have to shut down a big time winger or something.
Yeah, no, I think that could have been a possibility.
Or if you're trying to hold on to a lead late in the match.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I was not as outraged by the Richardson for Amavi switch, especially because for the past 5 or 6 matches, Amavi has not been that great. He's been a liability more than he's been an asset.
No, I think the people who are like, oh, you benched Amavi, are the people who either not Villa fans and they just look at who scored and they're like, oh, he has so many defensive actions or something. Like, I don't know, if you've watched all of the matches, you'll see that sometimes he makes mistakes. He's great going forward, but you have to defend first.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you've got Gil and Grealish in the lineup, you don't need as much creativity going forward. You don't necessarily need someone who can put a spark into the team like Amavi can. So Richardson actually made sense to me. I mean, at first I was a little skeptical, but when he started playing, it was confident, mistake-free, very average defensive left back. And in terms of defense, that's exactly what we needed.
Yeah, and like Chelsea, they're kind of in a rut. They didn't really look up for it, even if they were at home. It was just another match for them. It's like we were talking about last week. It seems like it is that third year effect with Mourinho. Maybe the team doesn't care as much as they did before. They're not as motivated.
Yeah. In any other season, would this loss be that bad?
No, but just because of it's really pulling Chelsea back up to where they need to be, which is annoying, I guess. But really, it was more of a game where we could have took a point.
Yeah, absolutely.
It wouldn't have even been stealing a point because, frankly, they're not that good.
I think in a decent season, we would be discussing this match right now in a largely positive light because I think there were a lot of good things that Aston Villa did. The problem is, at this point, we can't just take away, oh, hey, that looked good. Villa actually need points at this point.
Yeah, goals, because if, say, it would have even been 2-1, it would have been, oh, okay, whatever. We blew it because Guzan messed up at the beginning, and the own goal from Hutton was massively unlucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Hutton did a really nice job to cover there. I understand that he let the ball get through his legs and everything, but that was a position that he, by all rights did not need to be covering in, and he got back and made the cover, and it just ping-ponged through his legs. I don't fault him for that.
You can't blame Guzan for that either. At first, when I was watching the game, I was like, oh, Jesus, Guzan, like, not again, but, that it was a deflection at that.
Yeah, exactly. So the second goal is not one that I'm all that mad at. I was happy with Hutton for getting back into that position. It's compounded by the fact that first goal happened. And the fact that we can't stand by and say, oh, hey, there was something positive here. The only positive thing at this point in the season is points.
Exactly. And regardless of how we get them, if we get them by their goalkeepers doing stupid stuff or them having own goals, frankly, I don't care.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I will take points however I can get them. We were talking before this that in order to get to the 38-point mark that Villa have gotten each of the past couple of seasons, they're going to have to average 1.17 points from here on out, which doesn't seem like a lot given that 38 is only a 1 point per match average over the course of a full season. But every single time we lose, we're making this hole harder to crawl out of.
Yeah, especially for being a club that's averaged slightly over a point for the last 4 years or so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and averaged a point for the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's just starting to look unlikely, if anything. But like you're saying with Hutton, I think he's really locked down them. He's shown he was a lot of our attacking intent. Like everything was going through him. He just finds space on the right.
Yeah,
he doesn't. He doesn't have the pace of Bakuno, the crossing ability, but he does have a pretty good intelligence, and obviously is a competent defender.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he was a lot of our attack down the right because we had nothing else on the right until Adama Traore was brought on. Everything was shifted over to the left for most of the match, and Hutton was the only thing keeping that flank honest.
Yeah, and you're gonna get that when Carlos Gil's tucking in and helping to pull defenders, it's a decent tactic. So
yeah, absolutely. Again, tactically, I thought the setup was certainly not perfect, but not the travesty that it has been the past few matches.
Yeah, I thought it was adequate.
Yeah, absolutely. That was, you play that kind of a tactic against a team that isn't Chelsea, and you've got a decent chance of winning. You play that kind of tactic against a Chelsea and don't make stupid mistakes, and you've got a decent chance at a draw.
Yeah, and I don't know. I thought it was pretty brave from Sherwood to throw Ayew and Rudy Gestede out there. And Jordan Ayew, he was okay, but he's not a left winger.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And he needs to be played more centrally. He did well in the chances he got, but he's so anonymous when he's out there on the left wing. He doesn't get involved in the match as well because he's not a winger.
Yeah. But
so of course people are going to hold it against him that he didn't have the greatest match, but he's being played out of position. It's this isn't where he's supposed to be having a great match.
Yeah, and someone who being played in his right position that's being played out of position is Julian Lescott. I think regardless, he's got to be out.
Yeah, this week it sort of made sense because with Clark out, With Okora out, there really wasn't much in the way of selection there. But I'll be entirely honest, and I said this during the match over the weekend. At this point, I would legitimately rather see Philippe Senderos in that position. But that's impossible because we didn't register Senderos. We didn't start the season with him. So I took it one step further, and I swear to God I mean this. I would rather see Carlos Sanchez at center back than Julian Lescott.
Yeah, I think so. I agree because he's better on the ball, and he probably doesn't. That goal probably doesn't happen if he's at center back.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that.
He's a decent enough header of the ball, and I don't know. I trust him more to hassle a striker like Diego Costa more.
Yeah,
I mean, for Christ's sake, he shut down Messi and Neymar at whatever Copa.
Yeah,
this summer, like
this summer South American Copa.
Yeah,
as it's officially called now.
Yeah,
you're right. Lescott can't be in. He's miserable. He has yet to show us anything that makes me think he should be in a starting position.
Yeah, it's only proved to me that for being able to sell him for actual money.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a bad sign for your club when you get outsmarted by Tony Pulis.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, I think that was one of the only bad transfers that we made.
Yeah, absolutely. And it wasn't all that costful. So, I mean, it's not a huge thing. But it might end up being very costful if Tim keeps playing him. It might cost a hell of a lot more than £2 million.
Yeah, even losing a point is probably not worth £2 million, you know?
Yeah, no, it's not at this point. So we're not in a position where we have the luxury of saying, there was a loss.
Exactly.
So,
and
yeah.
That's really brings us to the next point of how long can this losing streak last? It's now 5 games in a row in the league.
Yeah, and in league, there is, unless we can pull off a win or a draw, I suppose, this weekend, there's a very real chance this streak hits 9 because it's 4 matches left in league before we play Watford. And at the point you have 9 losses in a row, there's a chance that could just spiral out of control and be even worse.
Yeah, you could end up looking like Wolves a couple years ago and you're relegated at Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the real worry this year. Ask me now if I'm a betting man, if Villa are going to get relegated, and I'm still going to say no. I think we're still in the Premier League next year, but that window's closing, and every single addition to this losing streak makes me want to lean more towards yes.
Yeah, if only because Newcastle are really bad and they shelled Norwich this weekend. It's I mean, you see the promoted teams come up and they have a good run of form at the beginning of the year. It's usually what happens, and I'm still really not worried about Watford, Norwich, or Bournemouth, or Newcastle, or obviously Sunderland, who are the only team below us at this point. But if one of those teams can figure it out and get hot, they could take themselves out of that conversation.
Yeah.
Obviously, Villa not looking likely to do that anytime soon.
No, absolutely not. So, I don't know. I think there's a chance that this losing streak could hit 9. I don't think it will. I think Villa gets something this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you absolutely have to. And we just had an article on the site this week from Alex Carson about playing the youth and how a couple years ago playing the youth led to survival.
Mm-hmm. And his recommendation is we do it again. Because as he points out, Villa spent a huge sum of money this summer on buying young players. With the Drissagana being the big veteran signing. Aside from that, we've got young players. Go with them. Do you think it's a tactic that could lead to Villa surviving?
I think so, because I don't know why, it just seems like you have a better chance to form more of a lasting team chemistry when you have a core group of guys maybe around the same age instead of a Lescott or even a Richards. Like last year when we had Clark and Okora playing the center back positions, I think that was a good combo.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the other issues, one of the other reasons you might want to play the youth is the reason that none of us want to talk about. But if this team gets relegated, it will be a lot of those young players that we hold on to. And if we want to bounce back, we need that core to already have good chemistry.
Exactly. Yeah. If you go down, obviously a lot of players are going to go away. Even some of the young players, like
Mm-hmm.
we probably lose Jack Grealish and even probably Adama Traore, but I don't know. Some of the players you will be able to hold on to, and you have to imagine that they're going to be the guys that are going to get you back up, if anyone is.
Yeah, absolutely. So I totally buy what Alex is saying. I think they do need a youth movement. I really do think that this team could be benefited once people are healthy again by having that Akora Clark pairing in the center again and just saying to Richards, we know we brought you here to play center back. If you want to survive, we need you at right back.
Exactly.
I think that would be okay.
And again, in the last match, he showed that he just likes to venture forward, and it was almost very dangerous because he lost the ball 2/3 of the way up the pitch.
Yeah, and he goes to the ground a little bit too easily. He's not bad. I actually like Richards a lot, and I like what I see at center back. I think we could mitigate or dampen some of his risk by putting him out at right back. Because if you screw up over there, if you screw up over there, there's theoretically someone to cover for you, back in the center. All right. Yeah, I think it is time for that youth movement, though.
Yeah, and I mean we were talking a little bit about relegation, and of course it still is early in the season. It is October, but starting to become a real risk, and a worst case scenario could happen if Villa go down and Birmingham City can maintain where they are. They're second in the championship right now, Robert.
God, the possibility of them coming up and us going down just makes me very, very sad. But I mean, it's a real possibility. Birmingham City are playing decent football this year.
Maybe that makes you feel a little bit better about the cup win, if anything. But
yeah, it's true. I don't know. They're a team who, just reading the news about them, if it weren't for the fact that I hate them simply because of who they are, they're kind of an interesting team, to be frank about it.
Yeah, as much as we may hate to admit it, like they're playing good ball.
Yeah, I'm going to get pilloried for saying that, but they're kind of an interesting team. Their manager, I think he could do some good things with them. I hope he doesn't. I hope that he goes away in abject sadness, and then maybe pulls an Alex McLeish and comes over here. But
I'd be okay with them coming up, provided we can stay up.
Yeah, me too, because I would enjoy having that whole rivalry there. I kind of enjoy the idea of having West Brom, Birmingham City, and Villa all in the same league.
Yeah, it definitely couldn't hurt. I mean, as long as we're still in the league.
Yeah, there's one sellout extra every year.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried though. They might be coming up and we might be going down. And you're right, that is a horrifying prospect.
Yeah, and I mean, since we were talking about relegation, and of course, going to be talking about Tim Sherwood with that. He's still in, but patience really starting to grow thin.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. We were talking before the podcast. Like you said, it's going to be difficult to know if he goes after a Swansea loss. It wouldn't shock me if Villa lost to Swansea this weekend if Sherwood was gone by sometime next week.
Yeah, see, I still don't think he'd be gone. It would have to be a bad loss, I think.
Yeah.
And it would have to be, I don't know, maybe like Leicester, where you have a 2-goal lead with 20 minutes left and you blow it for a loss. Or if you just flat out get destroyed and it's like 5-0 from Swansea, something like that.
Can you imagine having that home at Villa Park?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that would just be a disaster. And it's not like Villa have been good at home. Really, we failed to score in 4 of the last 5 at Villa Park in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been. I don't know. I can see this just turning ugly really quickly. Luckily, it hasn't gotten too ugly with the fans yet. We haven't hit the Lambert out, McLeish out stage of things yet.
Yeah, and maybe that's because some goals have actually been scored. The goal difference is -7, but we've scored 8. That's the same amount that Liverpool have scored.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, granted, it's also the same month that Sunderland have scored, but
that goal difference is getting worse and worse, by the way. Because last week we were saying it was not that terrible. Now it's tied for the second worst in the league.
oh, well, I mean, when you keep losing, your goal difference is only going to get worse.
Wait, what? Is that how that works?
But because we kept having just the one goal losses, and I mean that's not going to be too detrimental. But
yeah, this is our first 2-goal loss of the year.
yeah, if you can't turn that around,
yeah, absolutely. It's kind of incredible that we only have a -7 differential, given the fact that we've only had one match with a positive differential.
And it was only a +1.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that in its own right is kind of impressive.
Yeah, and maybe because we would have thought that, Sherwood's not going to draw a whole lot of games. Okay, we were right about that. Only one draw so far, but he hasn't had any big wins or any really massive losses.
Yeah, absolutely. And something needs to happen. God, what I wouldn't give for a 5-0 battering of Swansea this weekend.
Yeah.
Just absolutely rip him to shreds.
It just has to be something that can restore the confidence of the team and just kind of propel them. And I don't know if that's making a personnel change. I mean, it hasn't been talked about a lot this week, but last week it was, Charles Nzogby is back into favor, and this is weird.
I think Alex had the best reaction, which was if Charles Nzogby starts, just fire Sherwood and leave him in London. I'm actually, yeah. If Nzogby starts, that's horrible. There's a lot of problems with this team. None of them can be solved by Charles Nzogby.
But what if he just somehow does solve the problems? What if he comes in and is just the catalyst?
Well, yeah, of course, but you could say that for almost anyone. What if Joe Cole got recalled from Coventry and came in and saved us?
Yeah, I don't know why. I thought Joe Cole would have been the guy that Sherwood would have liked and would have.
Yeah, that was kind of bizarre that he didn't really get much of a chance.
And yeah, sure, some of it's due to fitness, but I feel like he could have been at least a somewhat effective sub.
When it came out with the fact that Nzogby was going to be recalled to making the match day 18 last week, the Birmingham Mail was also reporting that his reappearance has knocked Lieber Kozak even further down the pecking order. Which,
as if that was possible.
Oh my God, that right there may be the single biggest failure of Tim Sherwood right now. Is not using Lieber Kozak. He may not be good, but he sure as hell can't be worse than what we've got. And in preseason, he was great.
Exactly. Why not just give him a chance?
Yeah, absolutely. What if he comes on and scores? Part of me wonders, is Sherwood now at this point just afraid of being proven wrong? Like,
yeah, you have to wonder that.
Yeah, what happens if Nzogby comes on and kills it? Gonna make me look like an idiot. Well, who cares? You'll look like an idiot who's winning.
Yeah, you're gonna have to swallow your pride, because if you can move up the table, no matter who you've played, you're not gonna look like an idiot, is the thing.
Yeah, I literally do not understand the Kozak thing. It is to me the single biggest question mark about this team.
Yeah, and I mean I have my tactical preview that's coming out today, and I think Libor Kozak should start because, frankly, Rudy Justad doesn't offer a lot.
No, he does not. His play with the ball at his feet makes it look like it's Brad Guzan.
Yeah, I mean, he really leaves a lot to be desired.
Maybe Brad Guzan can become our new vernacular phrase instead of Emil Heskey for a shitty striker.
Yeah, you really that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you bratted that one up.
Yeah. What a Guzan. Like.
God, I don't know. I think there's a lot of questions around this team right now. I think Kozak needs to be playing. I doubt Kozak will be playing. I don't think Charles Nzogby should be anywhere near this team, and it wouldn't shock me if Charles Nzogby started on Saturday.
Yeah, probably for that exact reason. I mean, I guess maybe Sherwood just tries to reverse psychology out of this.
He's gonna spite us just for the fun of it.
Good. I hope it works.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great if it did. I'd be happy.
Yeah, prove us wrong, please.
Yeah, absolutely. About time. I'd like to be proven wrong.
Yeah, because all we've been saying is, this team is bad. Like, because we haven't seen anything that is convincing of why this team can win or although we keep saying that this team's not going to get relegated, it's every week goes by and it's slowly drifting a little closer to that.
And on paper, this team is not this bad. You have to think they'll regress to the mean, but every single week that they don't, the mean starts getting lower. You're not gonna.
And the thing is, it's what do we say at the beginning of the year, 12th or something around there? But it's a really tough stretch, and so what? You still have to pull out some results, draw, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in reality, after this tough stretch comes a significantly easier stretch. If Villa just totally crapped the bed right here and lost out until, say, mid-December, right? They could still turn this around by capitalizing on that easier stretch in, late December to January and February. There's a period there where they could totally turn things around, and no matter how bad the start is, they could save themselves. The problem's going to be the morale will have been tanked by then. The chances of actually capitalizing on those wins or on those opportunities will be gone. And it's almost impossible to see them having a horrible run of form here and then actually clicking finally.
Yeah, the thing is, if somehow they could figure it out, there is a chance that they could win 8 in a row because it's Newcastle, West Ham, Norwich, Sunderland, Palace, Leicester, West Brom, West Ham again,
Yeah.
and then Norwich again. Like,
if you could somehow pull those 8 wins in a row, that's and win nothing else up until that point, that is 28 points on the season, and then you've got what, 15 matches to close it out. 10
yeah,
matches to close it out.
And if you throw in the Watford game that's in about a month.
Yeah. I mean, it's really still easy to see ways Villa can save themselves, and thank God that we're still pretty early in the season because you still can see how this is possible. If Sunderland and Leicester can save themselves last year, Villa can do it now, certainly.
Oh yeah. You can't rule that out. Like look at the run that Leicester went on. That was just incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, stranger things have happened, and it's definitely not doomsday yet. But if you keep losing, it's going to be.
Yeah, but I think if we want to delay the clock on Armageddon, it's going to have to start this weekend. I understand that a point would be helpful, but at this point, I don't think I'm happy unless Villa win this weekend.
No, and I mean, if it was on the road at Swansea, you say, okay, maybe a point, that's fair, but I think you have to go for a win. And just looking at the table, Swansea, they're not having a fantastic season, not even a decent season by their standards lately, and because they're in 14th with 10 points and a -1 goal difference. Villa, of course, 19th with just the 4 points and a -7 goal difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. It's not a great season for them. And I mean, it's not a horrible season. And you could see them turning it around pretty quickly, but it's, they need some help.
Yeah, and I mean, they did just lose to Stoke. Like,
who loses to Stoke, honestly?
Yeah, exactly. And with Swansea, I mean, generally I hold them in pretty high regard just because of what they've done the past few years, but they've even drawn Sunderland this year.
Yeah.
And that's bad as Villa.
Who loses to Stoke and draws Sunderland? God.
Yeah, exactly. Like, seriously, how?
What a bunch of bums.
Yeah.
The thing that really worries me about this, though, is Swansea are a team in need of a win, and as we've seen numerous times throughout this season, need a result, come play Villa.
Exactly. I mean, it's almost too convenient how it's been working out for almost everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of pathetic at this point. So it does worry me. I kind of worry that Swansea could come in and nuke us, but for some strange reason, I'm kind of optimistic about this match. I think Villa do something here.
Yeah, the same, but just because of our history against Swansea, Villa only have 1 win against them in the Premier League, 3 draws, 4 losses, but not even scoring in the last 2.
Your damn dirty facts. Your facts are making it hard for me to stay optimistic.
But if you want a more positive one, is Swansea have collected just 2 points from their last 5 Premier League away games with 2 draws and 3 losses.
All right, there we go. What have Villa done from our last 5 Premier League away matches? I wonder. Have we even had 5 this year? We may have only had 4.
No, I don't think so. But
whatever. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
I got distracted.
We do have 1 win, and that was at Bournemouth.
Yeah, exactly. So 1 win, a lot.
No, we've only had 4.
Yeah. All right. Well, fine, be that way.
So,
We can't make that comparison. I don't know. It's hard to even say anything about this match because basically it's the same exact things we've been saying for the past month. Villa need to change. Villa need to play someone who can adequately get in on goal. If you're going to play Ayew, you need to play him smartly and in the right position. You probably need to drop Lescott. It's the same things we've been saying over and over. It boils down to win.
yeah. Whoever's on the pitch, it doesn't matter.
At this point, I frankly don't really care how it happens. Just end the game with more goals than Swansea have.
Yeah, simple.
Oh, well, podcast over. We've figured out the secret to football.
When you put it that way.
Yeah, that's totally oversimplifying, and it's kind of ridiculous, but at this point, I don't think it matters. Anything beyond that does not matter.
No.
Play the single ugliest game in the history of the sport of football and come out with a 1-0 win, and I'm still happy.
Yeah, exactly. That would give you a thumbs up.
Oh, that's definitely a thumbs up.
Yeah, we meant to do a thumbs up, thumbs down, but I think we kind of forgot.
The thumb wound Robert here.
Yeah.
Give that a thumbs up. Look at that. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. There's a lot of analysis that could be done here, and I really honestly don't think most of it matters, unfortunately.
No. But
I don't know. Do you think Villa can win?
yeah, I think they have the ability to. I think if I don't know, Sherwood's somehow got to find out a way to instill confidence into them.
Yeah, it's God, I just don't know what else to say about this team. We're on pace for a 17-point season right now.
Yeah, there's no way that can happen. The team's too good to do that. It's hard to say that they're too good to go down because a lot of people have said that about a lot of teams, but you've got to figure they're going to end the season with more than 17 points.
They've got to get at least 20.
Yeah. Even QPR got to 30.
Yeah, let's just hope they start getting those wins before their hollow, meaningless victories.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I kind of put the kibosh on that. My bad. I don't know what else to say. I just want them to win so damn badly. I'm tired of being angry and bitter.
Yeah, losing 5 in a row is not very much fun.
No, and not winning 8 in a row.
Yeah. Frankly, losing the win, I guess you could say, against Sunderland into a draw is just pathetic.
Yeah, losing the win against Leicester into a loss.
Yeah.
Is doubly pathetic. We had 19 minutes to protect a 2-goal lead and just pissed it away.
We can't just keep coming back to saying, oh, well, we should have 9 points, because at the end of the day we don't, because of one thing or another. So
yep.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna say that it's gonna be under 2.5 goals. I don't know why. It just feels like that kind of a match.
If you're right, I hope it's Villa 2, Swansea 0.
God, I'll take a 1-0 with a Swansea own goal in the 90th minute. I don't care, because whatever can amount to 3 points. Like we were saying, 1 point, okay, well, at least you got something. But if it's a draw, it has to at least look good.
7-7.
No, that's not what I meant. But
I would be entertained by a 7-7 draw. Probably really angry, but entertained by a 7-7 draw.
That would even one up Newcastle, because in that Newcastle Norwich game, they were talking about how when Newcastle were up like 4-2 or something, they're like, oh, Newcastle fans will remember when they had a 5-5 and also a 6-6. Like, how do you let that happen?
My God, that would be thrilling to watch a 6-6 draw.
Yeah.
Bonus points if it started out like 6-0 or some crap like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like Arsenal and Newcastle when they were up 4-0.
Yeah. God. Yeah, at least be entertaining this weekend. As much as I want a result, at least entertain me this weekend, please.
I think that could happen because Sherwood's going to have to go for it.
Yep, absolutely. I think so too.
So, I don't know. I think that's all we got for you this week. It was kind of a short episode, but
yeah, that's okay.
You kind of know the drill at this point. Villa haven't been winning. Yada.
Villa get a thumbs down.
Yeah, thumbs down. totally thumbs down. But we are still on iTunes, Stitcher, Blog Talk Radio, of course, and YouTube. So remember, you can find us there either to watch or listen, and we'll have all the match day coverage for you. It's Saturday, normal time, 3 GMT, 10 Eastern. So check out 7500hold.com for all your latest Aston Villa news. Remember, follow us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. I mean, you probably already did so because I think everyone has at this point. So thank you for keeping up with us on social media there. And yeah, for Robert Lintott, I'm Jack Grimsey, and we'll see you next time on the Holtcast.